We've been
Okay,
fighting for a
thank
long
you
time.
guys.
We appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Go ahead, caller. You're on the line.
I want to say we have to be careful with this particular election because they're already proclaiming that they do not have money to count the votes. So we are letting people know in advance we need volunteers ASAP. And I want to ask people to contact Hood Research. I don't know the number. If you two can follow up as well to contact you, because we are going to have to massively come together and volunteer to count the votes. My friend works in the post office, and she said all those absentee ballots, they got so many of them that was sitting in the office after the election wasn't funny. So I don't want people to say, let's not vote. Let's do our constitutional responsibilities that our elders have died for, fight for. People are dying right today.
If
young people for nothing, shot, killed, murdered.
Ma'am,
yes.
Our people, we must stop saying that. Our people did not die to vote, simply to vote. Our people died so they could get representative to represent their interests through voting.
Yes.
And that's very important.
Yes.
Apologies. You are absolutely correct. We had no representation. Yes. I didn't even have my first black teacher till I hit the seventh grade. So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Okay.
Well,
we together.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you for my call.
All right. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Good morning, Kenny and Tyrone. This is Tawana.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I am so glad to see you guys on. Your show is great. Now, I got a question that I know you, Tyrone, can answer. How come 247 not airing and talking about the beer rigging and the collusion, what's going on with the mayor? I'll hang up and take your answer.
2, 4, and 7? She said 2, 4, and 7.
You still on the air?
Yeah.
Say that again.
I was wondering how come 247 is not talking about the corruption that's going on in the mayor's office and about the feds being there. They're not really talking about it or even asking any questions or having any kind of conversation about what's going on. I'm going to hang up, and I like to hear your answers.
Yeah. The mayor really shot his shot. And the people who support the mayor, the big-time ministers, most of their members live in the suburbs. They don't vote. The union presidents are nothing but paper taggers. They don't have no members in here in Detroit. So therefore, he's got an endorsement behind him, and those church members are losing their, the churches are losing their members, and their members are looking at the preachers because the preachers ain't doing too good in leading them on earth, and now they wonder, do we have the ability to lead them into heaven?
All right, caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I'd just like to say that I believe that whatever we try to do, we supposed to have done the best that we could do with our home first. That's with our children, our finances, and everything that we need to do. Now, I've never got an answer. I called Tyrone once. He was in his car. That's been on my mind. And we talked for about 2 minutes. So he was in the car, he had his daughter and grandchildren. And the children on the back were so noisy, he said, I'm going to have to go. I can't quiet my grandchildren out. I've had a problem with that. We could not finish our conversation. Why couldn't you not quiet those children down in the back seat? I need that answer.
Excuse me.
I have children. I have 4 children.
Excuse me. It's hard to hear you. We can't hear you. Can you say that again?
Tyrone, didn't you hear me?
No, I couldn't hear you clear.
I said, let me say it again real loud. I believe that we all know that charity begins at home and spreads abroad. I believe that whatever endeavor that we try to do, we should have our home straightened out first. That's with our finances or anything else. Our children should be intact, everything. And I think Coleman Young was that way. Now, I called you once, Tyrone. You was in your car with your daughter and your grandchildren. We talked about 2 minutes, and the kids on the back seat were so naughty, and you said to me, I have to call you later because I cannot quiet these children down. And I wanted to know why. That's been on my mind. Why couldn't you quiet your grandchildren down so we could finish our conversation?
I don't recall, but let me say this to you. Individual straighten out in the house would do absolutely no good. We've been doing that since I was a little kid, and I'm 77 years old. We've been coming out of that I, me, and my bag and a man in the mirror for a long time. But for a good example, we are oppressed as a people. The governor of this state put Detroit under absolute dictatorship of a financial manager. He put 6 more communities in Detroit that had predominantly black population. We are oppressed as a people, can only come out with program as a people. We cannot have I, me, and my programs and come out of this. You send your child to school, he get a job, and he get a nice house. He take care of his family, and then say we are doing fine. No, we are not. That's just like the middle class blacks have said for a long time. We have came a long way, and we got a long way to go. No, he's talking about them, because when you look at us as a mass of people, we are going back. We are in the process of retrogression as a people. So we haven't came a long way and got a long way to go, because we got to stop this pushing us back to almost to the point of slavery.
All right, caller, go ahead.
Thank you for that comment. I loved it, Tyrone, that you just made. I also want to tell the people, look out for the pimps in the pulpit.
That's right.
Look out. Open your eyes.
That's
it's
right.
time. Because they're going to do for them, not for you, or the selected few that support them. They're yes people. They're yes men. The pimps in the pulpit. Know God for yourself. You are the temple.
That's right.
And we can't come together if you are divided, you are conquered. Divide and conquer by color or any other means.
Yes.
Social,
Say it.
class. Look, people, open your eyes.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
They got to wake up.
See, we've been under assault. The ministers been with corporation. Their God is the CEO of General Motors,
That's right.
of
Yes.
Quicken Loan. That's their real God.
Yes.
And we are the politicians we've been electing, they're not representatives. Those are political careers when they first get into the office. But when they sit down as political careers, they're going to have to enhance their career. So they are up for buy, and they are bought. So they're not just political careers, they're political oligarchs. They are subjects of the corporations in this state and across this country, the black politicians. And we got to pick politicians that's going to be our representative.
Yes.
I want people to know, look at your city council. We need a whole new city council.
Amen.
Yeah.
Stop voting those same people in. And ask them when you go to the poll, who's the new person? Google whoever is in the current city council so that you don't vote the same people back in.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
And look at
One
why
more
they
call.
got 2 school districts coming about.
Yes. Yes.
Do you think that's for your benefit? Did they say anything about it? No, and I'm off the air. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to say right quick, and we'll take the last call so Tyrone can end it. We need to get out and watch them polls. You know it's tricky business on them polls. We've been having it for years. You go to sleep at night, you wake up the next day, and somebody else is ahead of the person that was behind by big margins. Mm-hmm. So we need to watch Janice and all of them. We need people to get out and volunteer if we want the right people in office. It's sad, but it's true that they're doing this. So black folks, white folks, we need the right people in office to make this city Detroit again, because Duggan done changed it over into Dan Gilbert's city. So y'all got to wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah.
We'll take one more call, and then we're going to let Tyrone get in and finish. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Candleman.
Yeah.
Look, there's 13 reasons. There's 13 reasons why we have problems with these preachers and these community activists backing Mike Duggan. They're scapegoats for defeat. They're opportunistic. They're benefiting from their poor decisions as leaders. They're violating the norms of traditional political order. They have no lasting political loyalties. They're guilty of more than collaboration. They're cowards. They're deceived by Duggan. They're self-deceived. They're cheaply bought. They're diverting political focus. They're representing powerlessness. And they're escaping from their own guilt.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Hey,
Okay.
I give you a number.
No, I got to come.
And everybody financially help Tyrone keep his show on the air.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right.
I want to wrap up by saying they are telling us that they got to train us in education. And so, because we don't have education, that's why we don't have jobs. That's a barefaced lie. Let me give you. August the 13th, 2013, in the Detroit News, a writer declared that high-tech firms downtown are not much help to Detroit's unemployed workforce. That is roughly 47% illiterate and only 10% with college education. So let's us real briefly see who is employed downtown. Businesses move in to former downtown, ain't no more downtown Detroit, and Midtown are not bringing job applications. Instead, white employees are being transported at the same time as business move into the city of Detroit. Then we notice simultaneously new housing units are growing in the city District Council 5 downtown as white employees are being transported to Detroit. Former downtown, white employees in downtown, in the entertainment center, which has 13,000 theater seats, 4 sports venues, 2 casinos, 130 plus bars and restaurants, all in 1 square mile. That's at down Central Business District. All that's right down there. The employees in these businesses are not skilled laborers. And in hotels, they employ mostly white, are not skilled laborers. This mic ain't off, is it?
No, sir.
Let's move to Midtown. Midtown, when you go down there, look at the library, main library. Black workers are being replaced as we speak. And that's the major cultural center. You had mostly blacks working at the Institute of Art and the museum. Not no more. They're being replaced. In orchestra, in the museums, theaters, university, and the hospital. When Duggan was there, a lot of black workers was put out of the job when he was over the hospitals. And I asked him on the show about it, and he made like he couldn't understand what I was talking about. And I ain't called that Malik show since. And then you got Eastern Market. I remember most of the black butchers, because I used to get my meat. If a friend was a butcher, I get so much meat, he cut it up. Most of all that was black. They have been replaced by Middle Easterns. So when they talk about education, it's not true, because we experienced that before. When the Middle Easterns moved into Detroit and financed by Small Business Administration, just look at statistics, what you call Small Business Administration Minority Loan and Grants, and you will see every 10 years the federal government took our tax money and financed retail immigrants in Detroit and every major city where blacks are in this country.
That's right.
And that's how they did it. They did not live 20 in the room and save $5 for a week and become millionaires. That fairy tale they tell us. No, they was financed by the Small Business Administration. Check me out and look at the U.S. Census Bureau, U.S. Census, where it says Small Business Administration, Minority Loan and Grants, and you look at the history of it, and you will see who financed them, Middle Eastern. But when they came in, Governor England says, "Oh, they're not going to take jobs." But I've been around here long enough to know he's a liar.
Thank you.
Not Governor England, Governor Snyder. Yeah. When I come here in '63, throughout Detroit was black workers in the neighborhoods. Right. In the liquor stores, the Jews own them, but black workers working in A&P and Kroger's, those were your major supermarkets. Then Farmer Jack came in later. Right. And Farmer Jack's, they were clerks. They was the butchers. They stocked the shelves. Right. They worked at Hudson Department Store as Hudson was being moved. All downtown. The whole city. You seen black workers working. But when I go in the neighborhoods and get gas, ain't no black face taking my money. It's an immigrant. Right. And he don't know how to speak English and don't have no education. And he's on welfare also. If you go out to Lincoln Park, you'll see him and his family. And they have so many children look like Soul Train. And you go to the supermarkets. They got our young women working part-time, but they are the ones. And then you have some blacks ain't even noticing that. Say, we need to spend our money in the city so we can have money circulating. Mohammed takes that money out every evening at 5 o'clock.
That's right.
So when they say you need job training, that is a sham. And when they say they're going to open up business, but let them know, if you open up business, you got to have a market to buy. And if you got 81% of those are 16 to 64 don't have a job, and the ones who've got a job is making $8.90 an hour and want $15, and the ones, the middle class was in government jobs, they are over with because you remember I told you the number was 20 in city government, and it's about 8,000 now. And the same thing at the school system, that's where the black middle class was. They even destroyed their own self, the educated. They started the community and their own self. So I'm saying to you that the thing about jobs and training is not so. Go downtown and see who's washing dishes, who's making up the beds in the hotel. See who's doing it. they transport them people from the suburbs and have some preachers run around talking about we need some training.
Right.
They need to be whooped and run out of town.
That's right.
That's
Well,
all I got to say on that. But we're going to talk about next time, not just talking about what they're doing. We got to talk about and have a real dialogue where we share back and forth. We would discuss what do we do? Do we lobby? Do we keep going to courts when the Supreme Court to say it's all right for the dictatorship in our community? What do we do? I got some suggestions. I'm going to hold it the next time.
Coleman A. Young, the second for mayor of Detroit. Let's get out and vote, and let's support him, and let's get this city back on track, the neighborhood. Thank you for looking at our show and all the callers that call in. We appreciate you. Until next time, God bless y'all.
See you later.